Okay, it's time to do a complete breakdown of the adaptability strength. Adaptability. Go with the flow? That's right. That question mark was not an accident. I'm curious. I'm going to challenge you. Do you go with the flow? We're going to talk about how this strength works, how you can use it to build confidence, right? How you can use it to build relationships, how you can use this strength to build a network marketing or a coaching business. How do you use adaptability to get more organized? That's where we talk about going with the flow. But we're also going to talk about what happens if you have adaptability low. It's low for me, so I'll tell you a lot about that. And then, of course, what is the absolute worst way to use adaptability? And then how do we shift back into the good? So I'm going to cover all of that here in this video. So first off, adaptability is a relationship building strength, of course. And by the way, just so you know, I'm not going to be teaching you stuff that you can get from Gallup. So why would I tell you what you can get from Gallup when you can just go to Gallup and get that, right? I want to give you something that's actually going to make a difference for you and help you actually apply it. So first off, if you've got adaptability in your top 10, let me know where. If you've got it in your bottom 5, like between 30 and 34, let me know where. And also, or do you work with somebody or live with someone who has it and you want to know how to help them? So hello, Chantal. Good to see you here. Anybody else say hi? Please let me know you're here. All right, so let's talk about adaptability. Now, adaptability is a relationship building strength, but what I'm going to talk about in this video and how it can be used for all things. Influencing when it comes to your business, productivity when it comes to being organized, and also creativity. Ultimately, for me, it's like adaptability can be used many different ways, and I'm going to talk about that specifically in this video. First off, let's talk about adaptability on its own. People that have adaptability high, this is the Gallup stuff, where it's energizing for you to go with the flow, right? That means to take one moment at a time. Don't get too far in the future. Don't get too far in the past, right? There are 3 strengths that have to do with time. There's context, which is the past, futuristic, right? And then adaptability, here and now. So for those of you with adaptability, obviously you would enjoy a book called The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, right? So excellent concept. So there you go. That's adaptability. Now, what most people don't know about adaptability is how we can use it, right, to build confidence. Most people with adaptability really high struggle with confidence in that area because there's this belief that confidence comes from up here, when the reality is that confidence comes from here. Let me just explain where confidence comes from. Here. Confidence comes from here. That means that if you do something and you see a result, then you start to build and feel confident that what you're doing is working. I've talked about this in every single video I do, so I'm going to repeat it again. Doing things, right, with your strengths, where you know that's who you are, and then you're doing them, and then you're getting the result that you want, that builds confidence. If you're doing things without taking your strengths into account, or you're doing things the way other people tell you how to do them, it's really hard to build confidence that way, right? It's like believing in yourself, believing in your instincts, believing in your choices. And when you lean on your choices and you go do things and get the result you want, you build confidence. So you build confidence by doing things with your strengths and seeing the results that you want. So if you're in the pursuit of confidence with your adaptability strength, here's what you simply do. Say, okay, there's something I want to do. I'm going to stop and I'm going to let go of my, some kind of fear about the future or anxiety, if you will. And I'm going to let go of any kind of judgment or pain about the past. And I'm just going to live here in the moment now, where there is no anxiety and there is no judgment. I'm just here. And what I want you to do is to be able to think about what it is you want to see happen, and how can you just be here in the moment where you're just in the doing of the thing that you want to see yourself do. Hello, Julie. Thanks for joining. So I want you to think about that right now, right? If you're doing things with your adaptability strength and you're thinking about the future or you're mulling over the past, you're not here in the moment. And being here in the moment is where you build confidence, right? So you slow down and relax and go, who do I want to be right here in this moment? How do I want to do things right here and now? What's great about here and right now? And it's important to do that when you have adaptability because that's being your best self. And that's where your confidence really gets built. So staying in the now, that's where it's done. Okay, now, how does the adaptability strength build relationships? So pretty simple. It's an adaptability strength. It kind of goes the flow. The only problem with adaptability is you tend to go with the flow with the wrong people. We can figure that out when it comes to the wrong way to build, a wrong way to use adaptability. But the bottom line is that adaptability builds relationships by being in the present moment, by not asking the people that you're with to talk about what they're going to do tomorrow or talk about what they did yesterday. It's about who are they right now? What do they care about right now? And being in that moment and getting lost in a great conversation that's just in the here and now, where you're learning something or you're understanding something or you're empathizing or even sympathizing with something. So this is how you build great relationships with adaptability. You just be in the present. Adaptability is an accepting strength, which means it's not asking anybody around them to be anything other than who they are. It's also not asking the moment to be anything other than what it is. Adaptability is also an energetic strength. It's about the feel. It's about the feel of the moment, the energy of the moment, right? And getting lost in that. And it's also an external strength, which means it's about how the people around me are operating and how the environment is. So with that in mind, let's talk about how to use adaptability to build a network marketing business or a coaching business. Now, the problem that a lot of adaptability people have is they think they have to be great strategists, where oftentimes people with high adaptability have strategic very low. They also believe they have to be great accomplishers of something. This is another reason why adaptability people who are high tend to have achiever low. Not always, just tend to. They also believe that people that with high adaptability believe that they have to be visionaries or inspired leaders, right? And this is why they typically have futuristic low or command low or activator low. Not always, but typically, right? And so if you have adaptability high and you got some of these strengths that I just mentioned low, how you build a network marketing business or a coaching business is always being of service to those that your business is about, right? If it's a network marketing business, you're serving two people that want to use the products and people that want to build a business. And so what you want to do is get present with them in the same way that you build relationships, right? That's it. That's the key. You build a network marketing business, right, by getting present with those that you want to serve in the moment. So whether you're, hanging out with a customer or a business builder or a casual sharer or whatever, right? Get present with them. Find out where they are. Find out what's great about what they are doing. Ask those questions and say, is there anything I can do to be of service to you now, right now? And if you do that every single day with, let's say, 2 to 4 people, you're going to grow your business. It's going to grow. It's going to grow. You have no choice. And it's just 2 to 4 people a day until you get to that point where you've got anywhere from 100 to 200,000 people underneath you, in which case you're doing it with fewer people and you're talking about different things. But adaptability is best used what's in the moment. Now, with a coaching business, it's absolutely critical that you are being in the moment with your clients and your customers, or I should say your clients and your groups or your, whoever it is you're coaching, and document, right? Document. And what I mean by document is write down what's going on right now. Write down how they're feeling. Write down what their goals are. And write down what things you can provide to help them achieve their goals today. Focus on today. Stop focusing on what they need to do tomorrow or the next week. It's like, all right, I get that you have this goal that you want to accomplish something this week, but what are you going to do today? And how can I support you in doing that today? And then we'll just take the next day as it comes. And so that's typically how you do it when you have adaptability. So let's talk about how you use adaptability to get organized. Okay. Now, adaptability is go with the flow. Yes, that is true. And it's not about structure and routine on its own. Yes, that is very true. But you don't have to be structured and routine to be organized. What I want you to do as an adaptability person is define for yourself what is organized. This is where we're going to get into the worst ways to use adaptability in a minute. But I'm going to give you a little clue into the worst ways to use adaptability is this. When you're trying to be organized with a non-organized strength, it doesn't mean you skip over that strength. It means you lean on it and you ask yourself right here, right now, how do I want to feel? How do I feel? And if I feel the way I want to feel, then I don't touch a thing. Everything is flowing the way I want it to. But if it's not, then I can do some work to get it cleaned up in that area. What happens is with adaptability is where is the worst way to do, and this is where I'm going to now move on to the worst way to use it, is that you get so focused on where you're going to go. The past isn't as much of a problem for adaptability as the future is, unless, of course, you have futuristic high, in which case that can be a little bit more energizing. But ultimately, for the adaptability, it's when you start to get lost in the moment and you start to have doubts or fears over whether or not that's enough. Let me say that again. You get lost in the moment and you're like, I'm just going to go ahead and clean up or organize this. And you start to take on the belief that it's not going to be enough in the future. And at that point, you've become your worst self. Somebody who's trying to predict the future, but is doing it blindly, right? And again, it's not that people with high futuristic can predict the future. It's not that they can do that. It's just that they're energized by that. But when somebody with high adaptability and let's say low futuristic, the worst thing you can do is overly concern yourself of what's going to happen next or tomorrow. And so be in the present, be in the now. That's where you're best. Now, if you have adaptability low, now typically this means it's not energizing to just shift from one thing to the next. And so it's not an exciting thing to just go from boom, I'm doing this to boom, I'm doing that. Most people with adaptability low will have strengths like activator or command or focus really high. And when they do that, it's like freight train is what I would call it, right? So if you have adaptability low and you consider yourself a freight train, here's what you got to do. Two things. Number one, protect your energy. Protect your energy. Don't allow people to come in and knock you around and try to knock you out of your flow. So you only answer messages from the right people and you only answer emails or check emails or voice messages or phone from people you know that you can trust with your energy. And the second thing you must do is to focus on controlling the controllables, right? Stay out of the things that are not your concern. If you have adaptability low, staying in your controllables is absolutely required. So no overthinking about what other people are thinking. No overthinking about what other people are feeling. No overthinking about what other people are doing, and no overthinking about what other people are creating for themselves. And definitely don't overthink what God's doing. He's got his whole own plan that my suggestion is to you is to follow that plan. So when you're having adaptability low, stay out of allowing other people to knock you around. But just in case they do, just take a deep breath and relax and know that nobody has control over everything. And you can let go of that and ask God for help. All right, my friends, I hope this really helped. I'm a big fan of adaptability because of the ability of people to be in the moment. One of the biggest compliments I ever heard Michael Jordan get was how in the moment he was. And the more in the moment you are, the more you can tap into your potential, your strength right here and now, where this is the only place you have power to do anything. Here, now. You don't have power tomorrow, and you don't have power yesterday. Another good example is another good quote I saw from Kobe Bryant. And he talked about the value of being in the zone, right? And so when you have adaptability high, I want you to think about that. Your goal is to get in the zone. And once you're in the zone, that's when everything really flows naturally. And the surefire way to get out of the zone is to acknowledge you're in the zone. And at that point now you're out and you got to start all over again. Okay, so adaptability is an energetic strength. Get your energy right, being in the present. It's also an accepting strength. Go with the right flow. It's also an external strength. Make sure that the environment you're in is part of the flow that you want to go with, right? This is what I mean by do we go with the flow or not? Yeah, we do, but is the flow what you want? And that's the important thing. Have an awesome day. My friends, with those of you with adaptability high, I love you. Go with the flow, stay in the moment, and we'll see you all on the next video.